Alright, in favor of Battle Phase Uncut, the Bystial Dragon Link vs Goatee Sprite video reaching over 100 views, I've decided to do the deck profile for the deck. I was the one playing the Bystial Dragon Link in there, and we're going to run through it real quick. So most of it is pretty straightforward with a few different twists. I'll be breaking this down into different packages for you so that you can understand kind of how the deck works and interacts with one another, and I'll make some explanations as I go through. So just to start off, we've got 3 Stylage Seifert. This is essentially the heart and the soul of the deck. This is your playmaker, your starter, your extender, everything. If you normal summon this and it is not met with a response, you're most likely going to resolve this and at least end on a Seal Savage, in my opinion at least. Next, to pair with the Seifert, I play 1 Noctovision. This one is great if you have the Noctovision in your hand. You can do your combo and chain block your Striker Dragon or your Romulus so that you can't get interrupted on that, or they have to force an unorthodox interaction. Not only is that a chain blocker, it's also great for drawing cards, and we love having more resources in our hand. Next, as another little tech card, I'm playing a Galactic Spiral Dragon, which will be evident in the future. This one is again another extender. Most of the dragons are actually just extenders, which is fantastic. This is so easy to get into the graveyard. Again, you can also Seifert this card from your hand to search your Bystial, Lubellion, or even other cards in this deck, which you'll see coming up shortly. I play Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. This is great for if you unfortunately get Nibiru'd on your seals, you summon this out and you just keep playing. Otherwise, he's a great extender. He lets you grab things from your graveyard or special summon from your hand and just keep going from there. Next up is the small little rocket package. So I'm playing 3 Quick Launch. Obviously you play the boot sector, a Recharger. I'm playing 2 Tracer and a Synchron. And to go with the rocket package, you absolutely have to play the Absorautor. I'm playing 2 to interact with the Stylage Seifert again. Discarding this card to add the Noctovision is just fantastic. That is an ideal hand if you ask me. This guy here is not so much needed anymore. He's primarily there as a really weird normal summon, probably on a crackback, so you can summon out your Absorautor from the graveyard. Otherwise, this guy might even want to be a second Recharger instead. 2 Tracer is also becoming the standard for the rocket package, so look forward to seeing that more in the future. Now the Chaos stuff, 3 Chaos Space. I'm playing the Chaos Emperor Dragon. This guy is incredible. He lets you grab your banished dragon monsters and just keep playing. Not only that, he goes to the extra deck and you can special summon him just like you would a BLS, Banish a Light in the Dark. He's a level 8 again, interactions with Stylage Seifert. That card is incredible. Yeah, you can grab cards like Levianeer, or you can grab your Lubellion. It's just fantastic. Again, Levianeer is there for the level 8s. He's also a standard Chaos Dragon. Yeah. I am playing something a little more unorthodox. I'm playing a Chaos Valkyria. This guy is in here for the level 4 and the light requirement. His banish effect is also quite good in the fact that if he's banished, you can send a monster from deck to grave. So that can set up other plays. I'm also playing the White and the Black Dragon. These guys are pretty standard starters and extenders. So moving on with the Chaos package, we move into the Bystial package. This one's quite large. I'm playing 3 Lubellion. This guy's fantastic. should already know what this guy does. He's going to grab you the Bystials from the deck. He's tribute summons from the graveyard as a special summon. So he's just like another extender. Again, he's the level 8. He's a light. You can search him off of Chaos Space as well. So keep that in mind. I'm playing 3 Magnamut. Fantastic card. Add a dragon in the end phase if you special summon him. He's a DD Crow. You can also grab from the graveyard as well, I believe. I'm also playing 3 Druisworm. This guy is usually what you grab off of your Magnamut. He's gonna again be a DD Crow paired with the trap card, the Branded Beast. This is a 2-for-1, so you tribute the Druisworm when it's on the field for the Branded Beast. You destroy a face-up card with the Branded Beast, and then in the graveyard this guy will resolve, sending a special summoned monster on the field to the graveyard. Finally, I play 1 Saronir. This guy is probably the worst one out of the bunch of the Bystials, but if you see him and you don't see Lubellion, if you're able to get this guy off the field, you can still play with your Lubellion, because he's going to send a branded or a branded spell trap or a Bystial monster from deck to grave. Finally, for the Bystial package, I'm playing 1 Branded Beast. I'm not playing the spell anymore. I felt that the spell was not doing enough for me in my hand. But moving forward, I think that I would just keep this one as is. I wouldn't play anything extra. He's great to pair with the Branded Beast is great to pair with your Seals or your Savage. Just getting more interactions with your Seal, because you can tribute your Seal with the Beast and the Seal will still resolve. Summoning a dragon from the deck because it was tribute summoned. Finally, for the one-offs, I'm playing Triple Tactics Talent. This should be at 2. I would probably cut the Chaos Valkyria for the second one. I'm only just acquiring my set now. Talents is pretty much self-explanatory in my opinion. Because it interacts with the tier deck so much, you're going to be resolving this card. And of course I'm playing the Dragon Ravine. Again, part of the Heart and Soul of the deck. You grab it off of Romulus. And finally, 3 Impermanents. And that pretty much rounds up the deck. This paired with like a Branded Beast and your Seals is quite a lot of interaction and helps you get to your crackback turn, which is where Dragon Link really shines now, instead of going through the Chaos Ruler route, which is sadly no longer accessible. Alright, now onto the extra deck. So to start things off, Borreload Savage Dragon. This is a staple in the Dragon Link extra deck. This guy is an Omni Negate. Quick note is that even if your equip Link monster is removed from the field and sent to the graveyard or anywhere else, Savage will still retain those counters. He's just going to lose the attack. He'll still have the negates accessible to him. Next up, I'm playing Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. This guy is in here purely for the fact of time rules. If we didn't have the time rules that we do currently, and if Tier Element wasn't taking like 30 minutes for game 1, then this guy would not be in here, but for that fact, he's here. He also has a Dark Hole effect, so keep that in mind. Next up, our last level 8 synchro is Cyframe Lord Omega. I've got this guy in here for 2 reasons. If I'm able to extend far enough, I'll make this on turn 1 and pair it with Chaos Dragon Levineer. Being able to rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand, just making them have less resources than you, the exact things that you want from Dragon Link. Because you're playing with your Savage or your Seal and your trap card for your Branded Beast, you want as many resources already taken care of, and then you have those 2 or 3 interactions on the field to deal with the remaining cards in your opponent's hand. I also have this guy in here to shuffle a banished card back into the deck, so he's good for recycling. Next up, as the last card of the Synchros, I've got Baron de Fleur. I cannot describe to you how many times this guy has just saved me in a pinch. If I have a Bystial on the board and I quick launch into a Tracer, this guy is coming out. The amount of times that I've set that up and asked for a response, or if the opponent has any actions they'd like to do with the Tracer and the Bystial in the field and they've said no, and I've gone straight into Baron because they were holding off until later in the turn, that has saved me numerous times. Don't forget to also use the standby phase effect of Baron de Fleur to keep cycling through more cards. Dragon Link is all about resource management and making sure you have the right cards accessible to you when you need to go for the kill, and Baron de Fleur is a great way of making those cards live. Into the XYZs. I'm playing one Wallow. I think this is pretty standard moving forward. The Bystial stuff makes this super accessible, and the ability to just use your opponent's graveyard as your own resources, it's fantastic for this card. Even just being able to grab a Triple Tactics talent and use that card to maybe take control of their monster or draw more cards for more resources, yeah, it just speaks volumes. And my final XYZ is number 38, Hope Harbinger. I've found that making Seals and 38 more impactful against Tier Element than Seal Savage. Especially if you pair it with the Bystial Trap, the Branded Beast. This guy makes it so that your opponent can't just go normal Rhino Heart, attempt to use effect, go battle phase, swing into Seals, because they won't be able to go over the 3k attack, because number 38 will redirect that attack, and it'll make your Seals more valuable and take up more of their resources, because you're going to be summoning either the Magnamut or a Key Dragon that you need, or more ideally you're summoning a Bystial Beast, not Bystial, Drillsworm for the Branded Beast, because you're going to get 2 cards for the price of 1 in that sense. Now into the Dragon Link aspect of the deck, the actual links. So we're playing Striker Dragon. I don't need to say anything else. Striker Dragon. Pisty. He's still here. We're still playing Guard Dragons in 2022. This guy sets up with your Triple Burst to make your Boral End play. He also lets you grab your banish cards, so keep that in mind. The amount of times that I've set up for a what's it called? A safe play, and just being able to go through some extra extenders with the Chaos Babies that you can get from Safer is just really good. It sets up for even more bodies. Next up, the Dark Charmer. This guy is a bit iffy right now. I think I would rather play an IP Masquerena over this guy. As nice as this is when it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, being able to grab like a Chaos Dragon Levianeer, or even your Rocket Starters, he doesn't provide too much else other than being able to use your opponent's graveyard. And now with all the Bystials running around, this guy targets a card in the graveyard, so they're just going to either Ishizu them into the deck or just Bystial them, and this guy won't resolve. Next up, Quad Burl. Surprisingly, still playing Quad Burl, but he is definitely on the cutting block. He's not as strong as he used to be. Being able to pop a Link is really good, and summon back your rocket monsters is nice, but I find myself making the Pisty and Triple Burst play more than using this guy. So he would probably be the Nightmare Unicorn to the IP Masquerena if I were to change anything. And the start of the show, Heavenly Spheres. Everyone knows what this card does. It's a non-target bounce, so use that to your advantage. Next up, Romulus. Nothing else to say about Romulus other than it grabs you Dragon Ravines, and that's just an extender in itself. Make sure you chain block with Nocto properly. I like to do Chainlink 1 Romulus, Chainlink 2 Nocto. Next up, Triple Burst. As I was saying earlier, Triple Burst is the new way into your Boral End, and Boral End answers a lot of decks. The only time I would really be worried about making Boral End is if I'm facing someone playing with Kaijus, or I know that for a fact that they're on Super Poly, so just be wary of that. Don't forget to use his Battle Phase attack, effect as well. And as I was mentioning, Boral End, this guy is incredible. His negate, which is a permanent negate, mind you, being able to reborn your rockets and attacking everything once, really strong. Not to mention he has a towers as well. Just be careful about his attribute, as I was mentioning earlier with Super Poly. And the final card, Access Code Talker. This one I'm still not sure about. I'm on the fence between this and maybe an Avramax, or maybe a Boral Sword or a Boral Load. His non-target destruction is nice, don't get me wrong, but most of the time I'm already sitting on a Boral End, and that's enough to usually get me through a board. So a little bit more utility in the extra deck is probably what I'm chasing, so flex this one out. And that'll do it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Thank you for the views on the Battle Phase Uncut video as well. Really appreciate that one. And I hope you guys keep subscribing, keep watching, and we'll see you next time.